This is Blair Decker painting essentially an etching primer, kind of like an iodine. So it's the first layer that goes down, followed by an epoxy primer by DuPont, DTM Epoxy primer, and then a top coat of IMRON ELITE Single Stage. This is the last section of wing or airplane that's painted white, and then we're done. All the paint, well, the fuselage is finished. This is all that's left, and then once this is dry, we're going to go ahead and put the red accents on the wings, and then the job's complete. Golf Yankee X-Ray Quebec's going to be finished with a nice new 2014 paint job. I highly recommend Blair Decker. If anybody wants his contact information that's in the Southern Ontario area, feel free to contact me and I'll give you his contact information. Great painter. This is what he does for a living, paints airplanes. Aluminum, anybody that knows aluminum or knows airplanes knows aluminum is very difficult to paint. So the underside of the wing has already been painted white, all three stages. Again, it's DuPont's aircraft division formulated this paint at $900 a gallon with the activator, so it's not cheap paint. DuPont says 40 years if it's done right, and we have done everything to make sure it's done right. So these are the wings from a Zenair Zodiac or a Zenair Zodiac, finished in 2003. It's never had paint on it before. The object of this primer is literally it becomes part of the metal and etches right into the surface of the aluminum. Anchoring it for the next stage, which is the actual epoxy primer, which is also a direct to metal, but it's almost double redundant. From my knowledge, it's the highest end paint that DuPont makes in a single stage. This stuff dries extremely fast. One coat necessary at the very most. It's like an iodining. Prevents corrosion, locks all the paint in, or locks the paint to the structure. Take a short video later on of the actual airplane finished and at home. Needs all the trim seals back on. The cowl needs some red put on it, but other than that, the project started just before Christmas 2013. We're now the 4th of January 2014. wing lockers on the wings, which are handy. This is a dream come true because it's such a beautiful airplane, and this paint just made this airplane. When this is put together, there's some vinyl that goes with it. Paint scheme is basically a specially formulated white that's an off-white. It almost has a ever so slight red hue in it, followed by a lower half of the fuselage, which is like a Canada red, and it's like a wave that curls up around on the tail, and some streaks of red that he's going to paint that break and branch off any of the red areas. Then once this paint has finished drying completely, we're going to move on to the vinyl graphics section of it, which is a gold striping to accent and separate the white and the red. So Blair is just spraying on this primer, the etching primer Aladyne, called METALOK, and then he will move on to the epoxy primers, which take several hours to dry, and then once that's dry, he'll move on to the white, and then it'll have to sit for a little while before he goes and moves into the actual taping and masking of the red. There's red on the wing root that sweeps off, and there's some red on the wingtip that sweeps off, almost showing the airflow over a wing and which direction the airflow would travel. It's the paint job is kind of a knockoff of Zenith Aircraft's one of their 650s. But when I saw it, I couldn't believe how amazing it looked. So that's it for now. Unfortunately, I didn't get any other video, but that's the basics.